left Victor's house and immediately she got home, she called Dennis and told him all that transpired between her and Victor. Dennis, you knew your friend was up to something and you never cared to tell me. At least I would have saved myself from this type of embarrassment I got today. Vivian, please calm down. I wouldn't want to lie to you about this. Victor once talked to me about that lady and I seriously warned him against making such selfish moves. However, you know it's not in my place to tell you this. Please, I am very sorry. It's okay, Dennis. Anyway, my reason for calling you is to let you know that our friendship stands, unless you think otherwise. No, Vivian, our friendship still stands. Dennis has been a great help to Vivian and her company. She has so many wealthy clients and 7 of them came through Dennis, including other clients he had referred to her, so she wouldn't want to lose him for anything. 6 months after Victor's separation with Vivian, he proposed to Doris. He took her home to see his people and they were so happy to see her. She cleaned, washed, swept the entire compound. She was never tired. Victor's mother would always tell her to have some rest, but she would continue working. And whenever Victor hears his mother telling Doris to slow down, he would get angry and tell his mother to allow her to do her job as a wife. During their wedding preparation, Victor, as a stingy man, wanted something very small. He didn't want to spend money. He already told Doris to go to small bridal shops to get affordable things, but Doris didn't even answer him. She told him that the deals she got were the cheapest. Victor didn't believe her and so he went himself to price things. He got home and told Doris that they would go with the people he got and not hers. Doris got angry and told him that it's either they go with hers or there would be no wedding. She also told him that she would want everything to be perfect on her day because her friends would be coming. Your friends? You told me that you didn't have friends, that house chores never give you the time to go out and mingle with people. Doris looked at him and left. Victor started seeing the side of Doris that he never knew existed. Doris, being a very smart lady, noticed that Victor was beginning to look at her somehow. She immediately changed to the calm girl she has always portrayed herself to be. She went to Victor, knelt down and asked for his forgiveness. Victor was so delighted. He also used that opportunity to lecture her for the 100th time what he expects from her. See, my dear, I am happy that you realize your mistake and you are here on your knees asking for my forgiveness. This is the way it should always be. In fact, after our wedding, I want you to always kneel down whenever you are serving me anything, be it food or water. Do you understand? Yes, my dear, Doris answered. When you do things like this, it makes me happy and makes me love you more. Doris laughed and stood up. Then Victor told her to make correct pounded yam and okra soup for him. 3 days after their wedding, Victor woke up and Doris was still sleeping. He woke her up in anger. Why are you still sleeping? Shouldn't you be in the kitchen preparing my breakfast? Doris checked the time and it was just 6 a.m. She was confused as to why Victor would be requesting for food so early in the morning. It's just 6 a.m. and you are asking for breakfast. Yes, wake up. Where will you be in bed by this time? Where should I be? Doris asked him. In the kitchen, of course, doing chores. Doris didn't even answer him as she continued with her sleep. Victor didn't say a word to her. Doris asked that they go for a honeymoon, but Victor told her he doesn't have plans for that. Moreover, he will be resuming work next week. Their agreement as regards feeding is that he would give her money on weekends for the week. But Victor came home and there was no food. Doris, I gave you some money on Saturday to stock up the house. Today is just Tuesday. What happened to the foodstuffs you bought during the weekend? Doris looked at him from head to toe and told him she bought a few things and used the remaining money to take care of her hair. Your hair? But I gave you 15,000 naira for your hair. Victor, I asked for 50,000 and you gave me 15,000 naira. What will that amount of money do for me? So Doris, you are serious that there is no food in this house? Victor, there is no food. Victor was confused and so hungry. Then he told Doris to make noodles for him to eat because he wouldn't sleep hungry. but Doris ignored him and was busy pressing her phone. Victor, out of anger, went into the kitchen and made the noodles himself. He also gave Doris money for food as he was leaving the next morning. During the weekend, Doris made a list of the items they would be needing in the house and gave it to Victor. Victor, after going through it, asked her what the list was for. Washing machine for what? Why do we need a washing machine when you are here? You are supposed to be the one doing all the laundries with your hands. Victor, I am not a washing machine. It's either you get one or you start to wash your clothes yourself. Number 2 on the list is a blender. A blender? Yes, so it's either you get it or I stop cooking. I can't be pounding things with mortar and pestle in this age and time. This is the 21st century and we need to upgrade. Also, very important, you see pounded yam? I am never ever making it again in this house. There is food processors in the market, so whenever you get that, we continue with pounded yam. Victor was confused and surprised. He had to pinch himself just to be sure that this is not all a dream. Doris, am I dreaming? No, it is not a dream, oh, but if you are dreaming, please wake up. My darling husband, you are not dreaming. This is our reality. David picked his phone to call Dennis and talk to him, but then he remembered that him and Dennis parted ways because of his breakup with Vivian. In fact, it wasn't just that, but Doris had heard Dennis telling him that he was making a mistake for leaving Vivian. Doris got angry and asked Dennis to leave the house. Victor told Dennis to leave his house and never come back. That was how their friendship of over 14 years ended. Victor dropped his phone and picked his car keys to leave the house, but Doris wouldn't let him leave. Mr. Man, where are you going to? I gave you a list of the items we need in this house and you are leaving. I need a reply. When are you buying the items? Victor in anger pushed her, but she held him tight and warned him seriously never to ever push her again. Victor left the house and stayed out till evening, hoping to come home, eat and sleep. He got home and Doris was already asleep. He woke her up to get him food. Doris hesitated for a few minutes, but later woke up and served him. Victor tasted the soup and tasted it again. Doris! He screamed. Victor, what is it? Why are you screaming my name like that? Doris, what is the meaning of this? This soup is not fresh. I've always told you that all I eat is fresh food. Fresh food, Doris. I don't eat stale food. Doris laughed. Uncle Fresh Food, I see you didn't even go through the entire list. Anyway, the next item there is a freezer. Baby girl like me can't cook every day now. If you don't eat stale food, it's alright. I'll put it in the freezer because I only cook once a week. Victor was mad, but he was so hungry. He had no other option than to eat the food and sleep. Slowly, Victor started to lose concentration at work. Their marriage is not up to 2 months and he was already exhausted as all they do is quarrel and quarrel. With so much anger, he bought the appliances that Doris demanded for, yet there was no peace. Soon, he was due for a promotion and as usual, they would be doing some tests for the promotion. He was given a task to go to one of the most reputable companies in town and convince their workers to invest in their company. He needs to come up with a plan and strategy, then present to the board, and if his ideas are approved, he would head to the company. Victor sincerely pleaded with his wife to give him some breathing space so he could prepare for his promotion, but she never did. Coming up with mind-blowing ideas was so hard for him. He has researched and done all he could, but nothing was coming up. He wondered why it's so hard for him to get this right. Then he remembered that it's been Vivian all this while. He has been promoted 3 times because Vivian gave him all the information he needed for every presentation. He thought of what to do. I really need this promotion, at least for a raise in salary. With this woman that I married, I really need money to stay afloat. He decided to call Vivian and ask for her help. Victor, you must think that I'm a fool. Like you have the guts to call me and ask for help. Really? I have done this for you 3 times and wouldn't be doing it again. Everything about us has ended and so I do not owe you again. Vivian, please help me. I really need this to get this promotion. Vivian hung up the call and continued with her work. The scheduled dates came for the board meeting and Victor didn't have anything tangible to present. The CEO was present as well as Vivian and many other people. After his presentation, the CEO asked him if everything was all right with him because this is not the Victor that they know. But Victor didn't have any answers to give, and that was how he lost the promotion and all the incentives that comes with it. Victor got home that day crying like a baby. He blamed himself for working so hard to be like his father and forgot the important role Vivian has played in his financial growth. He was hurt because he felt Vivian was spending so much money on getting expensive things for herself. But here he is with a wife that doesn't work, doesn't know how hard it is to make money, but wants the most expensive things in life for herself. It's all my fault. Maybe if Doris works, life would be a bit easier for us. But I don't want her to work. I want her to be a wife and take care of me. He told Doris that he lost the promotion opportunity, and instead of Doris to at least show a little sympathy with him, she said nothing and walked away. Victor was reluctantly packing his bag to go home when his phone rang. A neighbor had called to inform him that there is a woman and her daughter standing by his door under the rain, and from the look of things, they've been standing there for quite some time. Victor immediately remembered that he had told Doris about his mother visiting for medical attention. Doris told him she wouldn't accept it, but he thought she was joking. He hurriedly got home and saw his mother shivering. Doris refused to open the door for them and they couldn't call him because his sister's phone was dead. This time, Victor knew there was no need to shout, so he calmly pleaded with Doris to open the door. While they were settling in, Victor's sister walked into the kitchen and apologized to Doris that they came to her house without her consent. Mama talked about calling you, but Brother Victor told her she doesn't have to. Sorry we came without your approval, but please, allow us to stay for a few days. Mama is sick and needs medical attention. The reason I came with her is so you wouldn't be saddled with the stress of taking care of her. I promise that we will leave once her treatment is over. Doris was touched. She quickly brought out a few things and prepared hot pepper soup for Mama to drink. She apologized to Mama for leaving her outside. It's just that she doesn't want a situation where people will start coming into her home without her permission. And before you know it, they start being a part of her home and start giving her unsolicited advice. Mama understood her and also made her know that it was Victor that invited her over. Mama was not happy with Victor, and before they left, she took her time and talked to her son. Victor, please, I don't want you to treat your wife the way your father treated me. Love her like your better half and treat her well. Your father was so unfair to me, and now see how sick and weak I am. You might not be this lucky because this generation of women would rather mess with your life than watch you destroy theirs. Victor was angry with Mama. So Mama, you served my father without complaint, and now you don't want my own wife to serve me? It's not possible. Doris must serve me. Oh. Mama, she must serve me. Victor never had peace in his home. It became so bad that Doris stopped doing his laundry, would not serve him food any day he comes back home late, even if he's coming from work. Doesn't cook any day she doesn't feel like. His job was suffering and threatened because he no longer concentrated, queries here and there. At some point, his salary was slashed because he didn't meet up his target. So many files unattended to, all because he couldn't concentrate. Going home became a big problem for him because all they do is fight, fight, and fight. One day, Victor was at work and his phone continued to beep and beep. He was too busy to look at the phone at the moment. Then when he finished, he checked his phone and realized they were bank alerts. Doris has withdrawn almost everything in his account. Victor almost ran mad as he ran home to see her, but on getting home, he saw that the flat was almost empty as Doris has packed half of his properties and left the house. She took everything he had labored for. Her phone was not reachable. He cried and cried. After a few days, he was almost losing it. He had no other option than to call Dennis. Dennis felt his pain and invited him to his house. Victor went, and as he entered the sitting room, he saw a wedding picture hung on the wall. He moved closer to be sure his eyes were not playing a fast one on him. "Dennis, you are married?" he asked. "Yes, I am." "To Vivian, my ex?" "Yes, to Vivian, your ex." Victor was shocked by his bone marrows. "Vivian is such a nice lady with a golden heart, but I messed up my chances of having such a beautiful soul as a life partner. I was interested in getting a woman that would serve me, other than the one that would walk this life journey with me, and now look at where it got me." He narrated to Dennis all that he had been through, the lessons he learned, and how the whole thing has shaped his life and sense of reasoning. Worst of all, he lost his job because he didn't go to work due to the shock of what Doris did to him. As they were talking, Vivian entered, and without any pain in her eyes, she exchanged pleasantries with Victor. She went to the market with her maid. Victor was surprised that Vivian went to the market. Dennis stopped him and said, "Victor, my friend, you see, such is life. You never gave Vivian a chance to love you. Vivian is such a sweet human. I have been the one going to the market because of her tight schedules, but she's on leave this month and she has been spoiling me silly with her cooking skills. My brother, you see, in marriage, you cannot get all you want. The same way you expect a woman to make herself available for you and make all the sacrifices, is the same way you should make sacrifices for her and also be available. It takes two to tango." Victor was pained. He also asked Dennis to talk to Vivian to know if she could help him get his job back. But before he could even finish saying it, Vivian came out from the room and told him that his position has been replaced, and even if it is still vacant, that the company doesn't take back any employee that was sacked. Victor eventually learned that his desire for a traditional wife had led him to make a terrible mistake. He regretted his choices and realized too late the value of the person he had pushed away. Moral lesson 1. Appreciate and value the people who help and support you, as they may play a crucial role in your success and happiness. 2. True relationships are built on mutual respect and acceptance. Attempting to change someone to fit a particular role can lead to dissatisfaction and hurt. 3. Ignoring or dismissing the qualities and contributions of someone important in your life can result in significant personal regret and missed opportunities for happiness. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell for more interesting stories from Amaka's Folk Tales. Bye bye.